Hello, and welcome to the Lighthouse Brand Builders podcast. I'm Peter Wilkin, and I'm here to help you build differentiated, enduring brands and thriving businesses. It's not really a podcast. It's more a series of strategic insights, stories, and secrets of success from a lifetime's career in advertising, brand consulting, and change management. The thread that binds them is brand-centered management, the trademark brand building process and philosophy I developed with my partners at the brand company over 20 years ago, that's since been embraced by thousands of brand professionals and some of the world's most iconic brands. The 4Ds process and brand DNAs have become well known in brand strategy circles. The focus here is practical advice you can apply straight away to your business. It gives you a glimpse inside the Lighthouse Brand Strategy Academy, our online coaching program where we aim to democratize effective brand strategy. Come with me, take a step inside the virtual lighthouse. Welcome. How can you tell if your brand strategy needs attention? There are several symptoms, if you like. I've identified 10 of them here of what I would call brand malaise, ways in which you can recognize that you could be doing more to build your brand and that your brand strategy needs attention. And they go from broad to very specific. So the first one would be just this general lack of clarity or focus. Typically, leaders of all types of organizations, large, medium, and very small, may have a temporary loss of vision. Everything is so complicated. There's so much uncertainty, unpredictability, and change. They've lost sight of where their anchor is and what it is they stand for whom and why, and they just need focus and clarity. The second one would be a bubble mentality. They don't see the bigger picture, but they realize they haven't got enough time to do that. They realize that they're thinking short term and within limited boundaries and not seeing the bigger picture, both in terms of opportunity to grow their business and their brand, and also the threat. They are reactive. They're not proactive. They're not driving towards a plan. They're responding to changes within the environment, whether they're competitive or consumer trends changing or things like this. They don't feel that they're driving the bus, that their hand is on the wheel, but rather they're being driven. The leaders are buried in what I call the C-rated tasks. So that's not that they're unimportant, but they're the day-to-day hurly-burly, the enormous litter of leaves around the floor. They're being pulled in all directions by their team. They want to please. Their agendas are packed. They have no time to pull up above the canopy of the jungle and see the bigger picture and then be more proactive in planning. Typically within larger or even medium-sized companies, the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. And you can see that through examples. One is pulling in one direction whilst the other is pulling in the other. And they don't do it intentionally, but they end up wheel spinning, and it ends up, with a lack of momentum or direction because they're not clearly focused about pulling in one direction. As a consequence, the organization may appear to be rudderless or spinning around in circles, not quite knowing where to go, confused, if you like, lost in the mist. There's a sense of that, even if the leaders are actually very strong. Often, you notice this when a new leader comes in or there's a change of leadership or a new opportunity emerges. There's another symptom is a lack of alignment or engagement within the organization. And again, you don't have to be a big organization to have misalignment. Even 4 or 5 people in a small team, unless they're clear about what their goals and their objectives are, how they are planning to position themselves, what they want to stand for in their customers or their key stakeholders' minds. If there's no clarity within that, they can end up pulling in different directions or not being aligned or united or engaged behind their goal. Another key symptom is a disconnect with what I call the end users. Ultimately that's the customers, but it can also be stakeholders as well. I mean, with a recent example I was just working with was the medical health professionals, and they were extremely good at understanding what their internal issues were, but had kind of lost sight of the impact on the end user user, who are the patients and their families. And obviously they all knew that ultimately that was their end user, but their efforts were not being directed towards that impact. It was more to sorting out their internal problems. And a little bit of alignment helps them get right back again and focusing on why they exist, for whom, and what promise they were giving to them through their DNA really helped them reorient back to the end user. Couple more. Poor communications. When you don't know what you stand for and you don't know for whom and why and how you go about saying it, it's very difficult to talk with clarity and to cut through the clutter that's out there. And so your communication is there, but it's not focused and it doesn't have purpose. It doesn't pierce like an arrow. It's dissipated and then lost in the wind, lost in the sand. And the last one, which is a bit of a general one, but you can sense it within the culture, is a lack of creative thinking or excitement and energy and creativity that gets people to go that extra mile and really gets them engaged and embracing with this mission and desire to build your brand and build your business. So those were, I didn't count them off, but those were 10 key symptoms of being able to detect when you can do more to build your brand, or your brand strategy is creaking or isn't there or needs to be in place or needs strengthening. So Lighthouse Brand Strategy Academy identifies those needs, and it basically goes right to the root issues or the ways in which you can address nearly all of those issues by pulling you back and focusing you on the core essence of what drives your organization, your brand DNA, the heart of which is your promise, your overarching commitment to your stakeholders or your customers, but also masked in really why you exist for them, to serve beyond making money, what you believe in, your key values, your attributes, if you like, how you go about delivering that promise, your culture, the icons and assets and attributes that you own as a brand that can evoke these images of the benefit that you give. And that's what we do within the course. Thank you for listening to the Lighthouse Brand Builders podcast. If you found this helpful and want to know more, please visit my website at peterwilkin.com. That's Wilkin with an E at the end. You'll find more free resources, instructional videos, and links there. If you're a CEO or a business owner looking to build your brand, or a brand strategist looking to level up your skills, check out the CBO Masterclass in the Lighthouse Brand Strategy Academy, where you'll be guided through a comprehensive, stepwise process to develop your unique brand DNA and learn the skills to become a certified Chief Brand Officer. If you have any brand or strategy related questions you'd like answered, you can ask them in the showcase notes below. I'll do my best to address them. Thank you and see you next time.